I'm Kathy Baptista, creative director and founder of Kathy Baptista Creative Studio, a brand and design studio that creates bold, unique branding for creative businesses and entrepreneurs. In this video, we're taking a deeper look into the visual identity that we developed for our client, Mixto. Mixto is a Chicana-owned social marketing agency that keeps brands, influencers, and celebrities tapped into the culture. Using real stories, rich cultural insights, and a little bit of swag, Mixto creates relevant, captivating, data-driven campaigns that resonates and connects deeply with their clients' audiences. Our goal was to create a visual identity that represents and embraces their culture. And we knew that we had to get creative with our visuals since they didn't have any brand media like photo or video that we can use throughout the brand development. For Mixto's logo, we wanted something that was really modern and cool. So we went with a classic. We went with Helvetica. However, we wanted to add a little bit of movement and intrigue. So what we did is that we italicized some of the letters just to give a little bit more movement in there. And then we wanted to be able to break this up and maybe bring in a little bit of that cultural element into the logo. So we looked into Chicano culture and we noticed that a lot of black letter typography was being used for tattoos, lowriders, art. So we wanted to see how we can incorporate that in the logo. And we felt that breaking up this very modern sans serif typography with this black letter X that just has so much personality was a really nice way to create balance and add just a touch of personality without losing that modernity of the brand. To give it even more edge, we added some texture to the logo, and this really takes the logo up to a whole nother level. In our questionnaire, we had actually asked Rosie what is it that she likes about working with the Latinx community. And she mentioned just how passionate Latinos can be in their work. And we wanted to try to see how we can incorporate that passion into the logo icon. And one of the symbols that we were able to come up with to represent this passion is a rose. Roses are about love and passion, and it also plays a subtle nod to the founder, whose name is Rosie. This incorporates her into the brand identity in a way that's very subtle, but that people know that she's a big part of the story of the brand. We framed the rose in this very diamond-like shape, which just felt very unique, and we added the M to tie in the entire logo. This really just symbolizes Rosie as the heart of the brand. Since there was no brand media like photos or video that we could work with, we instead wanted to work with stock photography that really aligned with the brand. So we were really inspired by the environments of these places where Rosie has lived and grown up in, like Texas, Mexico, and California. And we wanted to incorporate textures from these environments into her brand. So some of the textures that we wanted to incorporate were textures of cacti, textures of stone, really rugged textures. We also wanted to incorporate textures of cowhide and terracotta, and this really felt like it fit perfectly with the Mixto brand. For the iconography, we were really inspired by hand-painted typography. We really loved all these little flourishes that are very frequently found in Latin American countries and businesses. We just feel like they have so much personality and they just add a little touch of something to the brand. So when we were developing iconography, we really wanted it to evoke the same sensibility. We developed icons that Rosie and her team can use in graphics, social media, what have you, that just have that same sensibility, that same airbrush, textured like quality. And they're very fun, they're very expressive, and she can use them for a variety of media. We really felt like this really worked with the tone of her brand. We can now see how all of these pieces, the logo, imagery, iconography, and other brand elements come together to create a cohesive and intentional brand identity. Thanks for tuning in on this deep dive into this visual identity. If you like what you see, hit subscribe to see more videos like this, and make sure that you follow us on Instagram to keep up with everything about KBCS.